This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, Dunedin junior doctors say they're in for the long haul as they begin their second two-day strike this month. Dunedin's Peiru family could be developing into a surfing dynasty to match Gisborne's Quinn family. And a house fire that crews initially struggled to douse in North Otago this morning is now out. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. Dunedin junior doctors say they're in for the long haul as they begin their second two-day strike this month. Members of the Resident Doctors Association Union walked off the job at 8 o'clock this morning and won't return to work until Thursday.
Stand up, fight back! When doctors' rights are under attack!
If their picket outside Dunedin Hospital this morning is any evidence, the Resident Doctors Association Union has doubled its determination. Twice as many doctors turned up to protest today compared to their first strike a fortnight ago.
We went into mediation with the DHBs last Thursday, and unfortunately they've not shifted on any of their clawbacks at all. They still want to destroy our right to have any decision in how, where and why we work, and they don't seem to want to move in the slightest.
The doctors' main bone of contention with district health boards is a bid by their employers to remove the union's right to agreement on various issues. Those issues include rotation to another employer outside the city boundaries, a combined period of on-call and on-duty exceeding 16 consecutive hours, and the right of the union to agree or disagree to an alternative roster pattern.
I think the clarification that this has never been about pay. This is about our basic working terms and conditions. We are striking for the status quo.
And after last week's mediation failed, notice of a third doctors' strike was lodged.
If the DHBs won't regain on these clawbacks, that they keep on pushing forward, the resolve among the RMOs is very strong. We will be back out on strike. We will not tolerate this change to our terms and conditions.
Southern District Health Board Chief Executive Chris Fleming says hospitals, including emergency departments, will remain open during the two-day strike and will continue to provide essential and urgent services. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin's bus hub is nearly $1 million over budget. While project leader the Otago Regional Council will foot more than half of the extra $900,000 bill, the Dunedin City Council will pay for the rest. A $4.4 million budget was set for the hub when project details were announced last July. A report to the Regional Council this week puts the current cost at $5.3 million and says additional costs will continue to be incurred. The project will create a bus network hub in Great King Street between Moray Place and St Andrew Street. It's set to be finished late next month and operational in early March. The hub will include 10 bus bays, electronic timetables, shelters, public toilets and a cafe kiosk. Dunedin's Peiru family could be developing into a surfing dynasty to match Gisborne's Quinn family or another one closer to their Dunedin home. At just 12 years old, Misha Peiru has just won the South Island Grom. Her 16-year-old brother is no slouch either, and then there are their cousins.
In the shadow of Blackhead, a group of young surfers waits for the perfect wave. Among the group is 12-year-old Misha Peiru, who won the under-14 section at last week's South Island Grom series at St Clair.
I got first in the 14s and fourth in the 16s.
Groms, or grommets, is a surfing term given to young surfers. And it's not just the Peiru kids who've taken to surfing like ducks to water. Their Christchurch-based cousins Leah and Eva Wilson are also placing well at national competitions. In fact, 14-year-old Leah beat Misha to third spot in the under-16 section at St Clair and did quite well in another leg of the nationwide competitions on the west coast.
I got second in the under-16s and third in the under-18s.
At 16, Ruben Peiru is the elder statesman of the group and has been standing up on a surfboard from a very young age.
About 13 years.
Cool, and you're
16.
Sweet. So you were first on a board when you were 3?
Yep.
Like, when did you first stand on a board?
3, I think.
At the other end of the spectrum is the youngest of the quartet, 11-year-old Eva Wilson, who didn't compete in the under-14 section at St Clair, but has already won a competition in Christchurch.
Well, it was the Canterbury Primary School Champs, and I came first in the year 6 and under.
Surfing certainly runs in the family, with the kids' dads Steve Peyroux and Guy Wilson both surfing as well.
I've got 2 brothers, and all 3 of us, we all surfed a lot growing up. It was just part of us, part of our lives, and so had children and got them into it very early.
Even though the youngsters are doing well in competitions, none of them feel the need to aim for the professional circuit yet, but Steve believes some of them might have a genuine chance.
Well, I'll probably just do it as a fun thing to do, not super seriously.
Oh no, you have to be pretty good these days to be a professional surfer. Just don't know if I'm quite up for it yet.
Not really. No.
Just get as good as I can. Maybe get out to pro, but it's unlikely. And just be an all-round good surfer.
Got the talent. There's possibly more opportunity for women in that way. Might be wrong there.
And he believes their wider family might be able to rival other surfing dynasties.
Yeah, there's another surfing dynasty from Christchurch, the Schaefer family, Manu, Peter and Tony. And we think that we would rival them and the Quins. Yes, absolutely.
Whether this quartet ever aspires to touring and competing is completely up to them, the family, and whether sponsors decide to catch their wave. In Dunedin, the South Today.
One person is dead after a car and a truck collided near Timaru this morning. The crash occurred just after 7 a.m, 5 kilometres north of the town. One person was initially reported as critically injured, but police later confirmed the person has died. A second person sustained minor injuries and was taken to Timaru Hospital. Part of the road was closed and diversions were put in place. A house fire that crews initially struggled to douse as it was engulfed by flames in North Otago this morning is now out. Crews from across the area were deployed shortly before 9 a.m. to reports of a home fully involved in fire inland from Oamaru. Western Volunteer Fire Brigade Chief Fire Officer Bevan Coppett says the fire is out and crews left the scene at around 1 p.m. Fire and Emergency New Zealand say crews were struggling to contain the blaze earlier in the day due to a shortage of water, but the arrival of a water tanker helped them get the fire under control. Still to come on the South Today, a rock star forensic pathologist comes to Dunedin.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. You come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
wears the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. 2 people have been taken to Lakes District Hospital with minor to moderate injuries following a crash on Cardrona Valley Road near Wanaka this morning. Police say the crash occurred when an SUV travelling from Wanaka turned into a parking bay right in front of a ute travelling in the opposite direction. Both vehicles were severely damaged and ricocheted into a parked camper van in the parking bay. It's understood the ute caught fire after the impact, but flames were out by the time emergency services arrived. The crash occurred around 7 kilometres from Wanaka. The road remained open in both directions. Firefighters had to work in severe heat after a baler and tractor caught fire, setting a paddock of stubble and bales alight in Westerfield and land from Ashburton. The hay baler and tractor were engulfed in flames as fire crews and tankers from Ashburton and Mayfield arrived. Thick black and grey smoke was visible from around a kilometre away. Fire and emergency crews worked quickly to extinguish the large pieces of farm machinery. The alarm was raised around 3 p.m. Fire and emergency say it was under control about an hour and a half later. Conditions are very dry in mid-Canterbury after a wet spring and early summer, producing plenty of fuel for fires. Thailand's rock star forensic pathologist is in Dunedin to give a series of lectures at the University of Otago Summer School. She's a media personality in her home country, with her likeness displayed at the Madame Tussauds Waxwork Museum in Bangkok. In an interview with ODT journalist Jono Edwards, she speaks candidly of the teamwork required for identifying the thousands of victims from the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, as well as the difficulties facing pathologists in Thailand.
Because first of all, not so many doctors interested in this work because we earn very little money, and we faced with dirty work. Secondly, that's the investigation system in Thailand is a police system, and the police almost always they don't appreciate about forensic science. They love to go. To investigate in that way. The third one is that we have to work under the hospital, but the hospital will spend budget for the living patient, not for the forensic service. So these are all the times that we try to find the good way to improve our system. And I think it's 25 years ago, I had one case that changed my life. Yeah. My medical student was killed by her boyfriend, and that was the first time that I used the DNA for the criminal to confirm the blood stain in the rooms of the suspect. And at that time, to identify the skull that we recovered from the river, which at first this skull was presumptive diagnosed as the male skull, not a female. So from this case, it's my inspiration to establish the system of the identification of the unidentified remains all over the country. And the second is to improve the forensic science service. And after 2 years after this case, from the previous constitution, we have the first independent forensic science service in the Ministry of Justice. And from that position, I can, propose the law, propose the strategy for this, but it's not stable. But it depends on the politics until this constitution. To work with the death, at first, it's not because of the forensic, but it's because I can dress in this style, I can control myself, I can be my style. But after that, I'm love to investigate because my favorite movie is the Columbo Detective. So in the forensic investigation, it extends from pathology to DNA, to crime scene, to chemistry, to physics and everything. On the day that tsunami happens, at that time, our institute, we have the sections of the missing person units. So it means that we have a special team to manage the scenes of the unidentified remains. We want just only to help the police, but at that time, the Minister of the Interior Ministry, they sent our team to work in the biggest place. It's a Phang Nga, where we found it's 4,000 of the deaths. So we've learned from that it's how to identify. I mean that to follow the DBI protocol, or we have to introduce a new method to let it very easy for the reconciliation. Secondly, everyone learn about unidentified remains in the human rights issue. It's a human rights issue that I'm interested, not the identification. Because in all over the country, we have a lot of unidentified remains. This belongs to complicated homicides, illegal migration, it's abandoned people, or infanticides. All of this are the human rights issue. I think we've learned from this. And lastly, I think for Thai public, we understand how to improve the forensic science, how important the forensic science can help the justice system.
Dr. Pornthip is scheduled to give a public talk at the university's Burns 1 Lecture Theatre on Thursday afternoon. After the break on the South Today, we take a look at Ashburton's new temporary civil defence headquarters and council chamber, and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, as Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS. Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. Children in Greymouth were recently treated by the local council to a night in the town square. The Grey District Council put on games for hundreds of children as a last hurrah before they head back to school. Activities included an obstacle course and toss the gumboot, as well as musical acts later in the evening. The council is encouraging more events in the newly refurbished town square, with a Rotary food fair scheduled for next month. Ashburton's new temporary civil defence headquarters and council chamber has been completed and is open for business. The building is designed to be able to still function after a significant earthquake. Ashburton Council meetings will be held here until the new administration and library building is constructed on the site of the former county building site at Bering Square East. The temporary building is built in 2 main sections which can be lifted off the piles and relocated relatively easily. The new building is self-supporting with emergency power, fibre optic connectivity, backup radio communications and a broadband global area network system, satellite internet and phone system. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin junior doctors say they're in for the long haul as they begin their second 2-day strike this month and are off duty until Thursday. Dunedin's Peiru family could be developing into a surfing dynasty to match Gisborne's Quinn family or another one closer to their Dunedin home. And a house fire which crews struggled to douse in North Otago kept reigniting during the day as firefighters struggled to have enough water. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with today's southern view, taken at Blackhead this morning. Looking at the situation, warm temperatures for a few more days with showers in Fiordland but mostly fine weather elsewhere. More widespread rain on Friday with a cool southwesterly change. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect cloudy skies and highs of 24 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim are expecting grey skies with a balmy 28 degrees in Nelson and 30 in Blenheim. Plan for a cloudy day in Canterbury with 26 degrees for Kaikoura, 29 in Christchurch and 27 for Ashburton. To the southern towns, Balclutha, Catlins, Lumsden and Gore can expect moderate northwesterlies, mostly cloudy and highs of 24 degrees. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, moderate northwesterlies and some high clouds. Alexandra should reach 29, Wanaka 28, Queenstown 27. Te Anau can expect moderate northwesterlies, showers and a high of 20. To the northern towns, along the coast, Oamaru and Timaru are in for light northeasterlies, some high clouds and a high of 27. Be prepared for the heat inland at Omarama and Twizel with light northeasterlies, some high clouds and 28 degree highs. In Dunedin tonight, mild with some cloud and northeast winds, an overnight low of 17. Mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with some high clouds and warm temperatures. Light northeasterlies, 26 is the high and 17 the low. Warm on Thursday with moderate northerlies and high clouds, a high of 25 and a low of 18. Invercargill will see cloudy skies tonight with an overnight low of 16. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with moderate northwest winds, 22 and 17. Thursday with showers at times and moderate mild northwesterly winds, a high of 22 and a low of 17. That's all for our news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, channel39.co.nz and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.